And the Bucs clashing in just a few hours as we welcome you into the show. Glad that you're with us. And Jeremy Fowler is in Tampa covering the game. He joins us now. Jeremy, Mike Evans has not played since week 7 due to a broken collarbone. It was actually on Monday Night Football. What more can you tell us about his status for tonight, as well as any other injuries we should be monitoring?
Laura, I'll start with the latest. Mike Evans is expected to make his return tonight. I've talked to multiple sources who feel good about that. He has anticipated it all week. Teammates say that he's been juiced throughout the practice week, knowing that he's probably playing tonight. Now, the Bucs will likely have him on somewhat of a pitch count. He will not be in on every down, but I was told he will definitely be in on the important downs, certainly third down. They like to manage his snaps anyways at this age, so he should be somewhat close to what is a normal full go for him. Other Bucs injuries, Jalen McMillan worked his way back from a serious neck issue back in the preseason. He's expected to play as well. Could be on a pitch count similar to Evans. He's more of a deep threat for them. Cade Otton, the tight end, is doubtful with a knee. I'm told the Bucs are actually holding a little bit of hope that he could potentially play. They're at least going to see how he feels pregame, but not likely. And then defensive back Tyke Smith, not likely as well. But the Evans move is the kind of situation that can tilt the NFC South over the next month. And this is the healthiest that the Bucs are going to get after being beat up all year. But I talked to center Graham Barton, Laura. He made no excuses. He said these midseason lulls that we have are simply unacceptable. We all need to look in the mirror starting tonight.
Yeah, Wirfs coming back too is a big deal. The injury bug has been an issue for the Bucs when it comes to those midseason lulls. Thanks to Jeremy for the latest there. And let's talk big picture now for the Buccaneers, who were tied for the NFC South lead with the Panthers. According to ESPN Analytics, a win tonight would give them an 80% chance to win the division, while a loss drops those chances to just over 50%. That's how important and impactful this game could be in just a few hours. The Bucs, by the way, have won the South 4 years in a row. As we welcome you in here, we got Dan, we got Peter, we got J-Mac. Peter, just how important is the return of Mike Evans to this offense? Pretty remarkable. This guy is in the later years of his career, and he's coming back after the broken collarbone.
Well, you were there when he broke his collarbone on Monday Night Football. It was a terrible scene, and then sure enough, here we are when they need him most. He's back in the lineup, but it's not just him. Jeremy Fowler mentioned it. Jalen McMillan coming back for the first time this season. He was their deep threat. He was their guy they were expecting to be a big piece of this offense. And then you add in Ibuka, and of course you add in Godwin. It's the first time these 4 receivers, and then you add in Bucky Irving, are all on the same time, on the field at the same time. Suddenly, you've got what we thought was going to be the Week 1 offense for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield now has Tristan Wirfs back at tackle and his 5 best weapons on offense. I think it's huge. I think a lot of people, when we look at the NFC, talk about 3 different divisions, then it's kind of an also-ran. We say, oh, yeah, the winner of the NFC South will get the 4th seed, and that'll be whatever, and they'll be out after the second round. You put Baker behind Tristan Wirfs, a healthy offensive line, and 5 weapons on offense, we might have something. I expect them to go absolutely bonkers on offense. They're finally healthy, and they're excited to be that way.
It is big because Baker's been banged up. We watched him the other night where his shoulder, everything has been bothering him. And you look at what these receivers have been doing. This past game, they were 3 of 13 on 3rd down, which forced them to go for it more on 4th down. But it's the failure to get open. Right here, they're going to bring Demario Davis down the middle. Watch Rashad White on the blitz pickup and what he does to the linebacker, Demario Davis. Stones him, allows Baker Mayfield to step up in the pocket. Now he gets his vision down the field. Who's he supposed to throw to? All the defenders have jumper cables on the wide receivers. They can't get open. He's forced to scramble. It then leads to 4th down where you're trying to pick up a 1st down. Then it's been the struggle of the receivers not getting open. And now you add a guy like Mike Evans and a guy like McMillan in. Now you give Baker a few more options.
Jumper cables.
That was a good one. It's a great visual. Well, they're like tied to him, right? And it's elastic.
Buck them things on. Go ahead and start it up. You have a car that works well, so you don't.
And I do now.
Well,
I do now. I do now.
That's a change for Dan.
Or he presses the button and they come and they fix the car for him. I got that. That's good.
You know, J-Mac mentioned 3 for 13 on 4th down, too. And a lot of them were short yardage. And so can Mike Evans, like Mike just being on the field, can he help them be better on those short yardages? So often last week, you kind of mentioned it, there's 3rd and 2. They don't get it. 4th and 1. They don't get it. And so the reality is, for a football team that you sit there and go, how did you lose to the Saints? It was in many reasons because on those situations, not only did someone didn't get open, but I felt like they didn't have the ideal play to kind of like lean on. Can Mike add to that? I also say this, and I love him. Emeka has kind of plateaued right now. Big drop last week in that game. So does Mike coming back maybe alleviate some of the constant to him and allow him to get back to that level that we saw in the first half of the season.
By the way, no Bucs player under Todd Bowles has run more routes on 3rd or 4th and short than Mike Evans. So that's the spot where he can really make an impact. Let's get Adam Schefter in here for some top stories presented by Golden Corral. We begin in Cincinnati, where Joe Burrow made it clear that football, not a lot of fun at the moment. Listen to this.
If I want to keep doing this, I have to have fun doing it. I've been through a lot, and if it's not fun, then what am I doing it for? There's just a lot of things going on right now.
Okay, Adam Schefter with us now. Schefty, what should we make of Burrow there?
Well, Laura, I would say this. Yesterday also happened to be Joe Burrow's 29th birthday. So I think he was in a reflective, nostalgic type of mood where everybody sometimes on their birthdays takes stock of their life and analyzes where they are and what they'd like to do in the future. And it certainly sounds like that was something that Joe Burrow was contemplating yesterday. The interesting part is I think there are a lot of people across the league who took notice of that. Multiple teams were very curious about the statements that he made. If Joe Burrow didn't want to be in Cincinnati, there would be minimum 25 other teams lined up to add Joe Burrow. So we'll see what he decides, but clearly he's thinking about a lot of things, and as he said, he's got a lot of things going on in his life at this point in time. Meanwhile, Lamar Jackson, who didn't practice yesterday, returned to practice today and looks to be on track to play Sunday against Joe Burrow and the Bengals. There have been various ailments and injuries that have sidelined Jackson on Wednesdays during practice throughout this year, but again, back Thursday. That has been the pattern of behavior, and the pattern has been that he plays on Sunday. But it doesn't look like TJ Watt will be able to make it back this week to play on Monday night against the Miami Dolphins. Yesterday, while he was undergoing treatment at the Steelers training facility, somehow he wound up with a lung injury. Now, again, I think it's fair to assume, but don't know, that somehow his lung got at least semi-punctured. He wound up in the hospital. He spent the night in the hospital. He's still in the hospital after suffering a lung injury yesterday. And we'll see whether he can make it back on Monday. But my understanding is at this point, that would seem to be a surprise. And it looks like the Steelers will have to make do on Monday night against the Miami Dolphins without their standout pass rusher, TJ Watt.
Just a bizarre story. We're going to be talking to the Steelers in preparation for Monday Night Football. I'm really interested to see what they say. And Watt hasn't missed a regular season game
against the Falcons. The Bucs QB has thrown for over 100 fewer yards per game over the last 4 contests and is much less accurate than he was earlier this year. Let's take a look at Raymond James Stadium. A fresh look here. The Bucs are just 1-8 in primetime games since 2023 when Baker Mayfield arrived there. They're ready. So are we with our Thursday night trio ready to go. Our Jeremy Fowler, Jason McCourty, Joe Fortenbaugh with us. Jeremy, I'm going to start with you in Tampa because there's several injuries to keep an eye on tonight, including Mike Evans. Hasn't played since week 7 because of that broken collarbone. So what are you hearing about his status?
Christina, good news in Tampa Bay. Mike Evans is back. Sources told me that he is expected to play tonight despite a questionable tag. He was activated. This is the kind of return of a player who can tilt the entire NFC South. So Tampa Bay is really excited about him. They also get more receiver help. Jalen McMillan coming back from a pretty serious neck issue about 3 months ago back in the preseason. So he should be good to go. Probably on more of a pitch count as well. He's considered more of a supplemental piece, but he's a speed guy for Baker Mayfield, so they could try to catch Atlanta on one of those double moves deep downfield with McMillan. And then in the Atlanta side, Kyle Pitts, questionable with a knee issue. He did practice on a limited basis on Wednesday, so still open whether he plays or not, but Atlanta is hopeful. Maybe he'll try pregame to see how he feels, but Drake London is out this week, so they really need Kyle Pitts for a team that is clearly on the ropes trying to salvage the end of their season.
Yeah, definitely, Jeremy, because the Falcons are eliminated from the playoffs, but fantasy managers still in the playoffs could use Pitts. Hey, that's really important, guys, Jason, as you know. But let's get back to what Jeremy just said. A lot of good news here surrounding the Bucs getting some reinforcements at receiver, but given their offensive struggles as of late, what are you eyeing about Tampa's offense heading into tonight?
Well, something Jeremy said, he talked about Mike Evans being back and him playing on a pitch count, but being in there on important downs. One of the most important downs in football is third down, and that's where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have struggled some. And a lot of it has to do with them not being able to get open against man coverage. Right here, Rachaad White picks up the blitzer. Baker Mayfield steps up. He's looking for someone to throw the ball. It is Velcro out there in the secondary. They're latched onto all receivers. He's forced to scramble, ends up short. This brings up the last 4th down of the game. They have to get this to continue to compete. Once again, no one's open, has to check it down to Cade Otton, and this was also an issue for them. Running routes short of the 1st down marker off the field, and now they lose the game. So getting a guy like Mike Evans back that he trusts, Baker Mayfield that is, and he can get the ball to pick up those 1st downs, keep the chains moving, could be a big part in the game tonight.
Jay, you hit it on 3rd down. I spoke with guard center Graham Barton. He said they've been talking about 3rd down all week, just 3 of 13 on conversions against the Saints. They know they need to convert. Barton said it starts with the running game because he figures Atlanta feels like they can stop the run, stop the play action, so the Bucs need to impose their will there. Just play cleaner football. They feel like they've been in a midseason lull yet again where they struggle midseason and then they come on in December to win the division. They were hoping to avoid that this year, but now they're in the same spot. He knows they need to turn it on, but they need to be a team that turns it on consistently and is not erratic. So they're hoping to solve that tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of solving some numbers here, Joe, I'm going to turn to you. Give us a play you like heading into tonight.
I think despite the reinforcements on one side of the ball, you still have a lot of problems to where you'd want to bet the under here. 43.5. Market's been coming down from 44.5. There's a lot to look at. Let's start with Atlanta's side of the ball. They can get after you now. I don't think people have realized how much they've improved this pass rush. Number 6 in the NFL in pass rush win rate. Secondary's been solid. And given the way Baker Mayfield's played, if you struggle to throw the ball in this game, sure, you can run it, but that's taking time off the clock. On the other side, what is Tampa Bay going to want to do? Or excuse me, what's Atlanta going to do? They're going to want to run with Bijan Robinson. Here's the problem. Tampa's number 2 in defensive rush success rate, so you might have to throw, which leads into this problem. No Drake London tonight. With and without, look at how that offense absolutely plummets.